Disney has come out recently and confirmed that many guests have stopped visiting their resorts, and frankly, this terrifies them. They're willing to do almost anything to get you and other guests to come back. Since reopening after the pandemic, the Disney Parks experience has been defined by price rises, inclusion removals, and dwindling guest experience scores. Whilst initially guests were happy to simply return and make up for lost time, this honeymoon period is well and truly over. Disney theme parks and hotels have always been expensive, but their value for many people was there. Unfortunately, the pandemic provided a great reset for the many, and I mean many benefits that added to the Disney parks experience. At Walt Disney World alone, we saw the removal of free bus transfers to and from the airport. FastPass became a paid benefit through Genie Plus, and the bonus of additional nighttime hours at the parks for hotel guests was removed for most guests and replaced with paid events. All the while, each visit to a park required park reservations with limited park hopping opportunities. Prices were hiked across everything from car parking to food and merchandise, and entertainment and experiences were severely limited, if not removed entirely, such as the Citizens of Hollywood. This, unfortunately, was not restricted to just Walt Disney World, and each resort saw its own set of changes that dramatically altered the value of Disney's parks, but Walt Disney World was certainly the most upsetting, especially with the resort celebrating its 50th anniversary as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. All of this is fairly typical for business. Disney were essentially cashing in on their loyal audience in an effort to boost short-term profits. They got exactly what they wanted, and things were looking up for Disney's earnings. But to nobody's surprise, this has caused some problems. Guests have simply stopped coming back, and much sooner than expected. This is a terrifying prospect for a company that is built almost entirely on positive brand recognition and audience loyalty. As a response, in recent months and moving towards next year, Walt Disney World has shown a new desire to improve satisfaction and value in an effort to try and restore some of the lost Disney magic. This has to be partially due to the recent Q3 earning call for this financial year. Disney announced that results for the parks and resorts sector were lower than expected due to a decrease at Walt Disney World. Now, the parks usually make a huge amount of money, but they attributed this to higher costs and lower guest volumes, with direct correlation to decreases in occupied room nights and theme park attendance. This is essentially Disney straight up admitting that attendance and room reservations are down below the expected amount. We've talked in the past about this being partially what Disney wanted: lower guest numbers who spend more per person. But this is the first admission from Disney that this isn't working as they expected. With over 30,000 rooms on property at Walt Disney World, there's a lot of money left on the table if those rooms stay vacant. And of course, Disney doesn't exist inside a bubble. Everything is more expensive at the present. People are wanting their money to go further, and by eliminating many of the value additions around their resorts, people are ignoring their loyalty and simply going elsewhere. With the changes Disney is making, they're desperately trying to get that audience back. Likewise, it would be remiss to ignore the other thing that Disney may be afraid of. Just down the road from their staple resort is a certain groundbreaking theme park that is getting a lot of attention: Universal's Epic Universe. Never before has Disney had a competitor that rivals the scale and scope of Walt Disney World, but Universal is getting uncomfortably close. However, this week, Universal has raised the minimum price of a one-day ticket at Universal Orlando to $119 US. This is important, as currently Disney lists their base price at $109 US, meaning for the first time ever, Universal sees themselves as worth more money than Disney does. This doesn't take into account the sneaky tactics that Disney uses to advertise their low price, such as the $109 price only applying to a handful of days per year and only at Animal Kingdom. But for the first time, at first glance, Disney tickets look cheaper than Universal's. This newfound confidence from Universal shows that they are happy with their product, and with only 18 months until the opening of Epic Universe, they know their value in the Orlando theme park market. So, what exactly is Disney introducing, or reintroducing, to try and lure you back in? At the start of this year, Disney began trickling out new and old benefits to guests. First was the return of complimentary parking for guests at resort hotels. Now, this perk was originally removed back in 2018 and saves guests between $15 and $25 per night. At the same time, they also added on-ride photo downloads to Genie Plus. Of course, later in the year, they heavily increased the cost of Genie Plus, but hey, you win some and you lose some when you're helping Disney with their own social media marketing. Recently as well, parking lot tram services were returned to all 4 theme parks at Walt Disney World. This is huge from a mobility standpoint. All throughout the year, there have also been more discounts than were available in the previous 2 years combined, with most of them dropping earlier than usual, offering greater savings than before, and being for longer periods of time. Some discounts even run on traditionally blocked out periods such as Christmas week. This heavy discounting is continuing into next year, with a myriad of discounts running all throughout the usually busy spring season. Running through March of next year, you can receive up to $200 per night per room as a dining card, save up to 30% on hotel rooms, or have your child stay and play for 50% off. Rarely do we see promotions run for as long as these ones do, but we also rarely see so many overlapping each other, where the same room may have 4 or more price benefits and options depending on the discounts. There are also other discounts available exclusive to Disney Plus subscribers, annual pass holders, Floridians, Visa card members, and more. Disney has also recently reintroduced the bounce back offers, where booking another trip during your current one can save you up to 35% on room rates for the next stay. Discounting isn't their only method to try and win you back though. Starting on January 9th next year is an abundance of returning perks and benefits. First is the reintroduction of all-day park hopping with the removal of the 2 p.m. rule. Next, theme park reservations will no longer be required for date-based tickets, and more good-to-go days will be available for cast members and annual pass holders where they don't need a reservation anymore. The Disney dining plan will also make a return. While for most people this is not a great option, as they'll probably end up spending more on it than they would without it, a lot of people love the dining plan. Later in 2024, Disney also indicated that advanced ride reservations are coming to Lightning lanes to make them more in line with the old FastPass Plus system, and not needing you to wake up at 7 a.m. on your holiday to book something that you want to do. This is all just the tip of the iceberg though, and if these value adds don't work in bringing guests back, we will likely see even further changes and discounts leading into 2025 when Epic Universe is set to open, with there currently being plenty of rumors circulating about the possible return of Magical Express, the free airport transfers. But is it enough? Of course, discounting and bringing back some of the things previously removed aren't a golden ticket that will solve all of Disney's problems. There are still plenty of things quietly removed that Disney may or may not bring back ever. Things such as entertainment around the resort, the change of extra magic hours to early theme park entry, and trading off openings between the water parks. In terms of huge benefits, we honestly think that they're taking a wait-and-see approach to Epic Universe and hoping that the extra attention on Orlando will bring additional guests their way. But do you really want to hop around between resorts during this time? Because I guarantee that when Universal catches wind that guests are doing this, they will do everything in their power to tighten their grasp and ensure that guests remain on their property for longer. It's exactly what Disney has done in the past. If anything, this is an exciting time for Disney and general theme park goers alike. The lower the demand for guests, the more that parks and resorts will do to bring people back. All of this will not only generate competition, but also benefit guests everywhere greatly. Many parks look to Disney for guidance, and if they see that things such as paid skip the line and lowered benefits aren't working to bring guests through the gates, they'll likely follow suit in ensuring increased value for respective audiences. Likewise, we've already seen Disney announce and commit to spending over $60 billion across their resorts over the next 10 years as a direct response to lowered demand. Put into context, that's 60 Star Wars Galaxy's Edge lands. I'm excited to see what the future holds for Disney theme parks and resorts because, whilst it's scary for them, it's definitely not scary for us. But what are your thoughts on this? And is everything Disney is doing to try and bring you back enough, or is the damage already done?